We're told we live in the most rational, most data-driven society in all of human history.
I mean, think about it. Our work, our travel, our entertainment, it's all been designed for maximum efficiency and, personalized convenience.
Data predicts what we're going to buy next, and these incredibly complex models are guiding decisions in just about every corner of our lives.
Our social feeds, the news we get, it's all curated by these intelligent systems built from the ground up to perfectly capture and hold our attention.
So that brings us to the big, strange question. In a world that's supposedly designed for ultimate freedom and choice, why do so many of us feel, kind of trapped?
Well, what if I told you that almost 80 years ago, long before the internet, long before AI, a couple of thinkers basically saw this exact paradox coming?
To really get what they were warning us about, let's just start with an experience that I am almost certain you've had.
Maybe you were just going to reply to a quick text or check the weather. You had one specific goal in mind.
But then, you get pulled in. It's that seamless stream of perfectly tailored short videos, interesting news updates, and posts that feel like they were recommended just for you. And before you even realize it, boom, 20 minutes have just vanished. Now, on the surface, it feels like total freedom, right? You can watch anything. But underneath all that, these super sophisticated systems are guiding your attention. They're nudging your behavior, and little by little, they're shaping what you even want to see.
This exact dynamic, this strange feeling, was actually predicted way back in 1944 by two philosophers, Max Horkheimer and Theodor W. Adorno, in their book Dialectic of Enlightenment.
And their argument was, it was radical and frankly pretty unsettling. They claimed that the entire project of the Enlightenment, the idea that reason, science, and technology would free us from myth and suffering, had a really dark side. The more we try to control the world with rational systems, the more those systems can wind up controlling us.
They called this a dialectic. It's just a fancy word for a process where something, over time, starts to turn into its own opposite. Kind of like a medicine that, if you take too much of it, becomes a poison.
And this table just illustrates their point perfectly. The promise of reason, used to understand the world, can become a tool for domination. The promise of freedom can somehow lead to a world of total administration. And the promise of enlightenment itself, escaping all the old myths, can end up creating powerful new ones. So let's take a look at how this 80-year-old idea is playing out in our world today.
Horkheimer and Adorno first applied this idea to what they called the culture industry. Today we might just call it the attention economy.
See, back then, they were talking about things like Hollywood movies and pop music on the radio, standardized entertainment made for the masses. Today, that factory has had a major upgrade. It's not just industrial anymore, it's algorithmic, and it's running on platforms like TikTok, YouTube, and Instagram.
This gets us to their concept of pseudo-individuality. It's that feeling that your feed is totally unique, that the algorithm just gets you. But in reality, millions of us are being guided along these very similar, predictable paths that are all designed for one thing: maximizing engagement.
So the result is entertainment that's perfectly optimized for you, but at the same time, it feels strangely predictable, doesn't it? This, they argued, is a kind of enlightenment as mass deception, a system that makes you feel like you have infinite choice while it's actually narrowing your perspective.
This brings us to our second modern example, and this one might be even bigger: our modern obsession with data.
Horkheimer and Adorno wrote this really haunting line. It suggests that a world that's been fully explained by reason might not be a utopia. A world that's perfectly lit up can also be one where new disasters just shine more brightly.
They warned that when we try to reduce everything to just numbers, we risk mistaking those numbers for reality itself. And this can lead to some really strange, irrational consequences. Algorithmic echo chambers that trap us, conspiracy movements fed by recommendation engines, and engagement metrics, likes, views, shares. They start to feel like modern-day oracles, deciding what's true and what's important.
This flows directly into their third major concept: life inside what they called the Administered World.
I mean, think about how much of your life is managed by these huge, large-scale systems. It's a step-by-step process. First, you live your life. Then your actions get turned into data. Next, platforms use that data to build a profile of you. And finally, other systems, for jobs, for loans, for social connections, they make decisions based on that profile.
In this administered world, the individual person becomes an abstraction, just a collection of data points.
And yeah, while this is incredibly efficient, it can also quietly wear away at our personal autonomy, our ability to exist outside of the boxes these systems put us in.
So, what does this all add up to? Well, here's the core philosophical twist in their whole argument.
The very tools that we built to achieve freedom, efficiency, and understanding, reason, science, data, can dialectically flip and become a really sophisticated new kind of control. And this new kind of control doesn't look like the old ways. It doesn't rely on brute force or violence.
It's not the top-down control of a dictator barking orders for everyone to follow.
No, instead it works through optimization, through constant, subtle, invisible nudges, through incentives that shape our choices without us even realizing it. The world gets smarter, it gets faster, but our sense of real agency can just slowly slip away.
Now look, their analysis is pretty heavy. I get it. And they didn't offer some simple 5-step plan to fix everything. But they did point us toward a path forward: self-reflection. The goal isn't to get rid of reason or technology, but to use our reason to be critical of reason itself. It's about asking ourselves, what are the values baked into the technologies we use every single day? And how are they shaping not just what we do, but who we are?
So, I'll leave you with a question that they basically force us to ask. Are our incredibly intelligent systems truly making our society more rational and free, or are they just making it more controlled in a new, more subtle way? What do you think? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. And if you enjoyed this explainer on the big ideas shaping our world, make sure to subscribe.